Hello everyone, it is Briximus Prime back for another Transformers action figure video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Scourge. No, not that one. That one. Taking a look at the packaging here, right up front, we've got this amazing rendition of Scourge right there on the front of the box. Right over here it says Rise of the Beast Studio Series Scourge number 101 Transformers Generations Takara. Right there, Rise of the Beasts. Here on the side, got another nice render of Scourge right there. Authentic Transformers! Here on the back of the packaging, we got some nice images of Scourge right there, and we've got his mugshot right there on the side, and it says Leader Class, and that is mostly it for the packaging. And Leader Class Scourge here comes with this nice big backdrop right there for some more display options. I keep asking myself how I keep on busting my review station here so much, when in reality, I know damn well why. Now, Scourge here only comes with this one cannon right here, and it looks pretty good. It's got some nice mechanical detail and everything going for it right here. It's got a nice barrel right there. This is the area where it tabs on to the actual arm. And overall, it doesn't really got much to do other than just be a gun. And it does have some features in the vehicle mode, but we'll get to that later. After you've removed Scourge's salad fingers, you just replace it with this cannon arm right there. It just plugs into the notch. And now he's got a nice cannon arm right there. When they are not in use, the cannon and the salad fingers do have a place to store right here on the back. If you open up the hand and remove this out of here, you can actually see that it is attached onto a little arm right here connected to the bottom of the forearm. This actually is part of the figure. Though, I don't know if this is my copy or if this is intentional, but this is easily removable out of this part right here, so you can technically hold this as its own accessory. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it is easily removable, so I'm assuming it is, maybe? And if you don't really like it being firmly grasped in his hand, you can just have it sitting like this on his arm as well, though I prefer it when he firmly grasp it. Taking an up-close look at Scourge, Scourge has a very nice looking battle mask formed up of the Terrorcon insignia. Very nice there, almost kind of invokes Tarn a little bit. And also, he's got this interesting neck, like almost armored neck piece going on. It's something a little different. I think it's nice. It doesn't bug me that much. And then overall, some of the mechanical detail going on this guy looks very nice. I love a lot of this mechanical detail there in the chest. This is a slightly more pliable material, so if anything looks a little thin, it shouldn't be breaking anytime soon. He also has this slight translucent orange plastic that's inside of his torso. You can't really see it right now, but when you get it heavily backlit, it does start to give a slight glow effect. Which, speaking of glow effect, he does also have some light piping in his eyes. One of the things about this figure that I need to address, he is covered to the brim in mechanical detail. There is not a part on this guy that looks boring. Everything here is like just so cool and detailed and just really nice to look at. He's got some nice like chain detail that's like going around him, and it's like painted all over the place. Like all these brown chains are painted all the way through, even inside, like above the waffling. Like that's really cool how like very detailed they make this guy look. Got some nice silver highlights there of the pipes right there. Again, there's his little salad fingers. They're all molded pretty nicely, I guess. Kind of almost has like a Dr. Octopus kind of vibe to it.
Hello, Peter.
Then there's his big old blade that I showed you before. He does have the opening hands with the fingers right there. Again, the chains. And he does have the slight bit of paint. Wish there was more of this throughout the figure. Or, one of my biggest complaints with this figure is he doesn't have a whole lot of orange on him. He doesn't really invoke that orange glowing fiery effect like the box shows. But it's not that big an issue. I still think this guy looks pretty great. And then coming down here to the legs, these look pretty nice. Again, nice mechanical detail, kind of smoothens out a lot of the design. He does have the tires on the inside. Again, some nice exposed kibble, which does kind of remind you that this guy is a Transformer and does transform. Which, speaking of, this guy doesn't really have a whole lot of kibble. The only kibble that is visible is the kibble that is meant to be there, like the smokestacks. Which, speaking of the smokestacks, this one is a little bit loose. It does bug me a little bit, but I just gotta put up with it and just hope it doesn't fall. And overall, the backpack doesn't look all that bad either. You know, just as long as I try not to look at that one smokestack. Going over Scourge's posability, there's a ball joint at the base of the neck and one at the head, which allows for all kinds of neck articulation all over the place, allows for looking down, looking up, little bit of some pivoting, swiveling from side to side. These here can shift, these smokestacks can shift, his shoulders can rotate forwards and backwards. They could rotate a full 360 if everything wasn't in the way all the time. His shoulder pads can shift, his shoulder can move outward that far, and also hinge up right here as well. He does get a tight bicep swivel, 90 degrees of bend at the elbow, and then obviously these salad fingers have individual hinge joints. Same posability on this shoulder and this arm down here, only he now has those additional hinge joints I mentioned here on the blade, and he does have the opening and closing fingers. He also has a nice tight waist swivel. The hips can rotate forward very far, they can rotate back very far. His legs can move outward very far. He does get a nice thigh swivel. He has a nice bend at the knee, and then his ankles can hinge up, they can hinge down, and then he does get some nice ankle pivot. So, very good articulation here on Scourge. Also, one other small detail, he does have a nice heft to him as well. He may not look very hefty because of some of his thin proportions, but he definitely has a bit of heft to him. Also, if you untab this little joint this transformation joint right here, it does allow for some butterfly joint movement. And for comparisons, here is Scourge with one of his fellow Terrorcons from the Studio Series, the Voyager class Battle Trap. Here he is with another Studio Series Rise of the Beasts figure I've taken a look at, the Maximal Cheetor. And then here he is with...
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Here he is with Robots in Disguise Scourge. And then here he is with the G1 version of Scourge. So yeah, that is really it for the comparisons. You know what I just realized? This guy is actually someone from another universe. That elongated neck, the fact that he takes parts of another Transformer and puts them on him like they're trophies. Interchangeable arm parts. Transforms into something that's most likely not street legal. Scourge is Transformers Animated Lockdown.
You guys know I was just kidding, right?
Now let's get into Scourge's transformation. And ooh, here is that really awesome truck mode that we saw roaming the streets of Peru. This thing looks badass. It looks like Mad Max, but Transformers. That is awesome. Kind of reminds me of the Dark of the Moon Megatron as well. Also, the transformation, by the way, was a little bit rough the first time I did it, but the second time I did it, it was actually a little bit easier, and this is now my third time doing this transformation. It actually has gotten a lot easier now that I've done it like a couple other times, but that first time was a little rough, so just make sure you hunker down and really follow the instructions. Unless you guys can't understand Hasbro's hieroglyphics here. Trust me, I barely could. I love the truck's entire profile from the front, especially that orange plastic really makes this thing really shine, almost like it's light piping for the truck. And of course, a big highlight definitely needs to go to that front grille as well. All that mechanical detail is all precisely sculpted. A lot of this truck mode is absolutely covered to the brim in all kinds of mechanical detail. It's just really immaculate. The profile of the truck combined with the paint and the smokestacks and just the sheer length of this thing and that the transformation was enjoyable, this is definitely a fun vehicle mode to have. And it rolls pretty well too. The kibble back here might look a little bit messy, but honestly I can really look past it. Man, that gap is just as empty as my soul. But thankfully my empty soul has been filled with an amazing vehicle mode that really makes me happy. The whole time I've been playing with this guy, I've had just a stupid smile on my face. Here's the leader class Scourge compared next to his companion, the Voyager Battle Trap. Here he is next to the Voyager Cheetor. Here he is compared next to a Disappointment. Here he is with the Robots in Disguise Scourge. Here he is compared next to the Studio Series 86 Scourge. Totally not the sweep, because I wasn't just too lazy to transform Scourge. And
one to go.
That is it for this review on the Rise of the Beast Scourge. This guy is worth the money. Just right off the bat. This guy, I paid a total of I think 61 bucks. The last figure that happened to me with was the Beast Wars Dragon Megatron. This level of satisfaction after paying that much money for a leader class figure, this guy is definitely up there. You can tell all the money and the budget for this figure was well spent. Again, my only complaint is that he has that tiny little loose smokestack there in the back, and then he just could have needed a little bit more of a gloss up with paint just to make him have that fiery orange glow look like he does on the front of his box. It's just a little bit of false advertising with the box art, but it is literally not that big an issue. All of the mechanical detail is so precise, and this guy just is like literal eye candy for me to look at. I can't stop looking at him all day. It's kind of distracting. No matter what pose I get this guy in, he always looks just so freaking good. Even just standing there, this guy looks so imposing.
He's just standing there, menacingly!
And of course, Scourge's vehicle mode is just one of the most epic things ever. Like I said, with the positives of the figure, with all the detail and everything, applies to this thing as well. I love the vehicle mode just as equally as the robot mode, to the point that I actually have a hard time deciding which one I want to display in which mode. So that is basically it for my review on the Transformers Studio Series Leader Class Scourge. This guy is amazing, and I give him a very solid 9 out of 10. The lack of paint and that smokestack are really the only complaints I have on this figure, but besides that, amazing figure. Love him so much. Recommend you get him if you're able to find him, that is. So that's it for this review. If you guys liked it, give me a like on the video. Comment down below what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel for more Transformers and action figure videos, and I'll catch you guys next time.